Do you ever feel like you are a circus performer, juggling flaming swords, spinning plates, and wrestling a bear all at once? Well, welcome to my life. I'm Vin, and if you are trying to keep your life all together while being a mom, a spouse, working, or maybe even running a business, you are in a good company. Today, we are diving into how to manage all these multiple roles without losing your mind. I want to share how I balance everything from handling family chaos, managing home, to being a full-time content creator, and still finding time for myself. Well, sometimes. First up, we will be looking at how to juggle all these different roles. It's like putting together a puzzle. Each piece needs to fit just right. Then I will share some tips on how to plan your day so you don't end up feeling like a headless chicken. And then we will be talking about why saying no more often can be a lifesaver. Finally, we'll look at how to keep your mental health in check because, to be honest, you can't take care of anyone else if you yourself feel empty inside. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's figure out how to make this balancing act a little less chaotic. Ready? So let's get started. Alright, let's start by figuring out what roles we are actually playing in this juggling act called life. For me, I'm a mom, a wife, a business owner, daughter, and sometimes I'm just me trying to keep it all together. Take a moment and think about all the hats you wear. Write them down if you can. Maybe you're a student, a parent, an employee, or a volunteer. Each role is a piece of a puzzle. Here's the trick. These roles don't have to clash. They can actually support each other. For example, as a former 9-to-5 employee, and being a mom has made me super organized, which helps me run my business very smoothly. Think about it. The patience that you have with your kids can be a huge asset in your work life. And your planning skills for the family events, total lifesaver when you're managing projects. To make it work, you need to see how these roles overlap and support each other. It's like finding that sweet spot where everything clicks together. Let's say you are also a student who works part-time, and the discipline you use to study can help you to stay focused at work as well. Or if you are managing a household, those budgeting skills are a gold when running a business. Those skills has helped me a lot when I was managing the budget in my office. I was able to save a lot of money, and I provided quite a lot for the organization with very limited budget. I was their favorite. So start looking at your roles not as separate parts, but as a piece of a bigger picture that fits together. When you do this, you can start to see how skills from one area can make you stronger in another. It's all about finding that balance and making it work for you. So we got our roles sorted. Now let's talk about managing time, because let's face it, we all wish that we have a few extra hours in a day. First thing first, let's talk about prioritization. Not everything on your to-do list is equally important, and I use a simple trick called the Eisenhower matrix. It helps you to sort tasks into 4 categories. What's urgent and important, what's important but not urgent, what's urgent but not important, and my favorite, what's neither urgent nor important. Those can usually wait or skip. For example, let's say you have a work that has a deadline which is tomorrow, and this I would consider as urgent and important. And dentist appointment next week, important but not urgent. Answering a call from a friend, urgent but not that important. And binge watching a new show, which is neither urgent nor important. Tackle the urgent and important stuff first. Plan the important but not the urgent things, and save the urgent but less important tasks when you have time. And for those non-urgent and non-important stuff, maybe have it as a reward. Next, let's talk about scheduling. Having a plan for your day can make a huge difference. I use both digital and paper planner to keep track of my schedule. So here's a tip. Block a chunk of time for specific activities. I call it time blocking. For example, in the weekdays, I have 2 important tasks that I very much give priority, which is my deep work session where I do my content creation, and in the evening, I will have to teach my daughter, help her with her homework, and do some extra lessons with her to make her understand those lessons. So these 2 activities, I have blocked my time in my calendar. And don't forget to include some buffer times. You must understand life happens and things can take longer than expected. A little extra time between tasks can keep your day from getting derailed. Now, let's move on to batching tasks. This is what helps you to create more time. Instead of jumping between different tasks, try grouping similar ones together. It's like making a batch of cookies. You do all the mixing at once instead of one cookie at all time, isn't it? If you mix ingredient for only one cookie at a time, don't you think that you will be spending hours to bake 24 cookies? So we often fail to look at our task in the same way. You can batch all your emails and social media responses into one time slot. I do this on alternate days for about 30 minutes. Or if you're cooking, prep all your meals in the weekend, on Sunday maybe. I combine this with my grocery shopping, which I have scheduled on Friday. So once home, I prep the meal according to my weekly meal plan. And so when it's time to cook, I will just take all my prepped meal and my job is just to cook. I don't even have to waste my time to do cuttings and preparing and stuff. By focusing on one type of task at a time, you can get into a groove and work faster without the constant switching that slows you down. So to sum it up, prioritize your task using the Eisenhower matrix, plan your day with time blocks, and batch your tasks. These simple steps can help you manage your time better and get more done without feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so we've talked about understanding your roles and managing your time. Now let's dive into something just as important, which is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is like putting up a fence around your time and energy. It's like saying, this is my space and here's how you can respect it. So first, let's start with work-life boundaries. It's easy to let work spill into personal time, especially if you work from home. I set clear work hours and family time to keep my things separate. And for example, I stop checking my emails after 6 p.m. and once my workday ends, I'm all about family or me time. This way, I'm fully present wherever I am. Communicating these boundaries is the key. Tell your family when you're working and let your colleagues know when you are off the clock. It's all about setting expectations. Here's some tips. Use an auto reply for emails after hours. Something like, thanks for your message, I'll get back to you tomorrow. It keeps things professional and lets others know your boundaries. I know it's easier said to be done, but to be honest, not everything is urgent, and I'm very sure that they will understand. If they don't, then time to look for next job. Now, next, let's talk about saying no. It's one of the hardest things to do, but sometimes it's necessary to protect your time and energy. For example, if someone asks you to take on another project when you are already swamped, it's okay to say, I'm really busy right now. Can we look at this next week? You don't have to give a lengthy explanation. A simple, honest no is powerful and respectful. It's also about prioritizing what's important to you. If they demand for an explanation, make sure that you have everything written down, the projects that you have to focus on, your due dates. When you have everything written down and you can show it clearly to your boss, I'm very sure he or she will be understanding, and perhaps you can realign your projects which one comes first, and that will kind of let them know how much you have taken on, and probably it will help them to determine to relook at this entire project delegation. So now let's talk about self-care boundaries. It's easy to forget about yourself when you are busy. Make sure that you carve time just for you, even if it's just for 15 minutes a day. For me, it's my morning walks. These are my non-negotiable times because they can help me to recharge and keep my stress in check. Think about what activities that help you unwind and make them a regular part of your routine. Maybe it's a hobby, a workout, or just sitting quietly with your thoughts. Remember, setting boundaries, it is not selfish or being lazy. It's about making sure you have the energy and time to be your best self in all your roles. So to sum it up, define your clear work and personal time. Learn to say no when needed and always make time for self-care. These steps will help you protect your energy and keep you balanced. So now let's get into something super important, keeping our mental health being in check. First off, let's chat about mindfulness and meditation. These are great ways to stay centered even when things get hectic. I start my day with a short meditation session. It helps me to feel grounded and ready to take on the world. Even 5 minutes can make a big difference. Trust me, it's like hitting the reset button for your brain. Another trick I use is taking regular breaks. Working non-stop can be really exhausting. So I like to follow the Pomodoro technique, which is I just work for 25 minutes and then I will be taking a break for 5 minutes. I will just go walk for about 5 minutes, take some water, or freshen up or something like that. During those breaks, what you can do is you can probably grab a snack or just step outside to have some fresh air. It's amazing how this little break can boost your energy and focus. So now let's talk about support systems. Having a group of friends or family you can talk is really important. Don't be afraid to reach out and share what's on your mind. Sometimes just talking about your day can lighten up your mood. I also find it helpful to join online communities or support groups. It's a great way to connect with people who understand what you are going through. You can share tips, vent a little, and get some much needed encouragement. And also, don't forget about self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. It's easy to get caught up in trying to do everything perfectly. It's okay to have off days. Treat yourself with the same kindness you give a friend. If you are having a tough day, take a moment to acknowledge your feelings without judgment. Maybe give yourself a little pep talk or do something you love like reading a book or watching a funny movie. Finally, remember it's okay to ask for help, whether it's talking to your friends, seeking advice from a mentor, or even getting a professional help. It's important to take care of your mental health. Alright, so we've come to the end. We've talked about how to understand your roles, manage your time, set boundaries, and keep your mental well-being in check. I hope these tips help you to navigate your own balancing act. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and making small adjustments along the way. If you find this video helpful, do give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone that might need it. And if you have any tips or tricks that help you balance your roles, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever I have a new video. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!